And the strategy that we are pursuing is the right one.
So a lot of us are assuming the president's going to pivot. He's been under an awful lot of pressure for his refusal to call this threat what it is. I have a lot of trouble buying that. He has no track record of doing that. When he sets a course, he sticks to it no matter how unreasonable it is, whether it works or not. He did it with Obamacare. I think he's going to come out there and continue to blame Americans for these attacks. Global warming caused them, he has said. Our Second Amendment is part of the problem. I think he's going to announce executive action on gun control tonight. Of course, I hope I'm wrong, but if I had to bet money, I would bet that's what happens.
Wow, that would be pretty unbelievable, because even among his supporters, you know, people that I know who have voted for him twice, are saying we are tired of hearing about, again, what Islam is and what Islam isn't, and gun control. We want to hear we want to hear specifics about him talking about how he recognizes that this country is now looking vulnerable.
But you can't attack something unless you understand what it is. His attorney general on this Friday, said her, quote, biggest fear is that Americans will be bigoted toward Muslims. Not the biggest fear would be that ISIS is going to win its battle against America.
And why was she at the FBI presser, by the way? Because there are sources that are saying that she was there to make sure that the FBI director didn't take it too far. I'm happy. I want him to take it. I want him to take it real far. I want to know, he's the expert. He's the one that gets all this information and then meets it out. That's a really good point.
And this is the greatest, the largest terror attack on American soil since 9/11. So when you have these moments of resolve from we want to see our president strong, steadfast in the face of terrorism. These speeches in the Oval Office are usually reserved for these weighty events. Mm-hmm. So will the president come out and reassure us? He's got an interesting fence to walk on, because at the same time, as Tim pointed out earlier, this doesn't play into their narrative that we are safer. He keeps saying that. He's said it as recently as 3 weeks ago, that we're safer now than we've ever been.
Well, they have no clue. They don't understand that we are fighting not people who are poor and disgruntled, but who are religious fanatics who are acting what they think is according to the will of God. If you don't understand that, you can't combat it. And I don't think he does. I think he's going to again say, America, you're intolerant. You have too many guns. It's your fault.
Yesterday we had Lee Carter on the show, and it was fascinating to look at her dials, where they're measuring responses from speeches. And we showed the Donald Trump speech in the wake of these terror attacks. And he was strong. He said, I'm going to go after them. And, the dials went through the roof. And then she played President Obama's clip. And even among Democrats, it just went down. It sounded weak. It sounded spineless almost.
Yes. Well, Facebook, social media is just going crazy. And we asked for your responses about what you want to hear. Here's Diana on Facebook. She says, call it what it is, terrorism. Stop with the nice labels.
William says, nothing about gun control. How about rooting out and taking down the bad guys for a change?
Sharon on Facebook writes, what he should say is the refugee program is canceled and our visa program is suspended.
God bless you, Sharon, for making that point. The U.S. government, the Obama administration is, if you're going to assign blame, they're the ones who let this woman in.
We'll talk about that visa program.
Application.
Yeah, we'll talk about that a little later.
And they're continuing to resettle these people in this country. Really?
You can watch that speech, by the way, right here on Fox News Channel tonight at 8 o'clock.
Well, others this morning are calling for the NSA bulk data gathering program, which was
cell phones,
exactly, in place from 2006 until last week, to be reinstated. They are saying the fact that it is no longer the law hampers law enforcement efforts to root out terror.
Because the feds weren't able to get 5 years worth of information, phone records from the two terror suspects out in California and San Bernardino. They could only get a couple of years, and they had to go to the telephone companies, not the actual phone records from their actual phones.
Right. Questions this morning, how would that have stopped anything when she was able to get into this country by putting down a fake address of a house that didn't even exist? And so she's able to get a fiance visa to get in.
Yes, they're so data geniuses. If you can't even verify that, if you don't have Google Maps and can't find out that her address doesn't exist, what are you going to do with this data? By the way, they collected the phone data of most Americans, and I don't think they can point to a single terror plot that was foiled with that data. Not one. And by the way, law enforcement did get 2 years of records from their phones.
Right. Ari Fleischer, of course, the former White House press secretary, tweeted this: Congress needs to bring back the full NSA program. Snowden's moment is over. So we see this, of course, in the wake of these attacks,
Right.
this sort of clamping down, this diving back into maybe giving up some of our civil liberties.
Right. The only way to fight terror is by giving up your constitutional rights.
I will tell you, and I know this is not a popular opinion around here on this set, but I really have no problem with that. I'm fine because you know what? If they can watch the list of people, if they can monitor the list of people that I've talked to, and they're concerned that I'm actually going to be doing something wrong, like blowing up or blowing away 15 people, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with them looking.
If you
at what
haven't
I'm
done
doing.
anything wrong, then what are you worried about? That is the line you often
Well,
hear.
that's
And if
my
that's
line.
true, I'd like you to give your
Put out
password to your email.
told you I
Let's
would
share,
give
let's
you my
share our
password. You
email
just can't
addresses with
listen.
every viewer this morning. To have passwords, everyone can just look into everyone's private information, bank account information.
Nobody cares what I'm doing with my boyfriend. Nobody cares, about the correspondence with my mom. If I'm talking
Right.
to a potential terrorist,
Right.
I don't really.
Reading my
go
email
ahead.
does not make America safer.
Remember what happened with the IRS scandal?
Yeah.
Targeting specific groups,
No,
looking into
I
specific information.
remember.
You trust the government?
All right. Jerry Falwell, Jr., president of
good
Liberty
point.
University in Lynchburg, Virginia, does not trust the government, and he has his own solution to the terror crisis in America. Here's what it is.
It just blows my mind when I see the President of the United States say that the answer to circumstances like that is more gun control. If some of those people in that community center had had what I've got in my back pocket right now, is it illegal to pull it out? I don't know. Is that... Anyway. I've always thought if more good people had concealed carry permits, then we could end those Muslims before they walk in and kill it. I just wanted to take this opportunity to encourage all of you to get your permit. We offer a free course, and let's teach them a lesson if they ever show up here.
I don't think I could be more for the Second Amendment. I'm a life member of the NRA. I also have 2 college students. I don't think I'm for arming college students. I'm for everything but that.
Nothing ever goes wrong at a frat party.
I'm as pro-gun as you could be. And I just don't trust college students to have guns. Sorry.
Well, you could hear the rumbles in the audience, and there's certainly, it was controversial. You heard certain people booing, there were people cheering.
Well, when you say go and end Muslims, I mean, I think you're going to probably get some boos for that.
Well,
I mean,
also-
we're talking about the radicals. We're not talking about an entire religion.
Also, the confusion as to whether or not this law in this particular state, he even says, I don't know, am I allowed to pull this out right here? I'm not even sure.
We were talking about that earlier this morning. Actually, I was eavesdropping on a conversation over here, but it's true. And a lot of my friends, people who, again, voted for President Obama both times are saying,
Who are these people anyway that you're hanging out with
I have a
voting for
wide
Obama 2
array of
times?
people.
What is this?
I have a wide array
Let's just
of
go
array
through our
of
phone
friends.
records and find out.
That's fine. Here, take it.
Check your email.
My password.
All right.